Right, my next project is to enlarge the boys' bedroom, which is through that wall there. The whole idea is to build a stud wall here, relocating the lounge door there. Then remove all of that. The wall that divides it from the hallway, we should bring straight up and put the bedroom here. It will give us about 75% more floor space than we've got now. So almost doubling the size of the floor. We don't need it in this room anymore because we put the conservatory on, giving us the dining room out there, which is what we use that part of it for. So all in all, good use of space. Right, first part of this project is building a stud wall. How to build a stud wall? Very simple. Any of you that's done joinery, you'll know. It's bits of wood, nails, put it together, you've got a wall. But it can be a little bit more if you want to do it properly. What we use? CLS. That's it stuff. Quite clearly marked, but it's CLS. Reason for that is this is kiln dried and sized exactly to what is needed. It comes in two standard sizes, a 3x2 and a 4x2. That is 100x50 or 75x50. In this case I'm going to be using 75x50 because it's not a massive wall. Then we'll use plasterboards. Now I'm using tapered edge plasterboards, so it's a faced finish. I'll be joint filling and then lining paper. No skimming, no long-term mess. We don't need it, no reason for it. Now, tools needed, hammer and a saw. Really? Okay, I do a lot of it, so I've got things that are a little bit more tailored for the job. Chop saw, nail gun, etc. But the whole house is built of stud work, partition walls, and I did the whole lot of it without a nail gun. So, you know, nails, hammer, it can be done. Just if you've got them, use them. If it's your job, you'll have them. If you haven't, no, don't go out and spend 400 quid on a nail gun just to build one wall. You might as well pay somebody to come and do it, it's cheaper. Now the sizing of it, obviously we're going to do full width. My room is just over 2.4. That is about 50 metres, 50 mil bigger, you can see there. So if I drop a piece on the floor, first it's still clear, the ceiling. Okay? No, see if I can. Right, that's good. That is a fit. Now there's many methods of doing these walls. Those that do it for trade, for a living, will have their method. I'm not going to teach them it. I'm going to show you that's never done it before in case you need to know how I do it and my preferred method. I don't do it and build it in situ. I build it as a frame and then stand it up and fasten it into place. For me that's a stronger, quicker, easier way of doing it. So what I have to do, start off with, is make sure that when the finished frame goes up, it has a little bit of clearance. 10 mil, just so that you can get that swing. Otherwise it'll just grab as soon as it doesn't, you'll be belting out of the plasterboard to get it in. Taking off your 10 mil from the length, taking off also top and bottom, because I go straight across the top and straight across the bottom. All the way. And then the uprights. So what I want to do, to start off with, is take that length, that height, which is 240 plus 50, but we're clear there. We're clear there. We're not clear there. We've got a bit of a void in the ceiling there, we can knock that out. There, you see, we're clearing there. So we've got 240 plus 50. We want to take off the 250s, top and bottom, that's 110 mil. So 110 mil off of the 240. Now the height on one is 229. That will be the 240 minus the 100 for the top and bottom and 10 mil. So 229. If you've got a set like me, you can set it up so that you can get a repeated cut and then whip off all of them at the same height. So 229. just run one through and just check that measurement. And that's now spot on. Okay, now I just need to work out how many of them I need and run all them off, all in one go. Right, now standard partition sizes is 400 centres. All building materials come 1200 wide. Your plasterboards do, all sheet materials do, so we subdivide that 1200. In a wall, the amount you need between that is 2 additional ones. So you've got the 400, 800 and 1200 centres. That way your plasterboards will always sit on a centre. The first plasterboard that's going to go into the corner, and I'm using feather boards, I'm going to be taking off that 50mm feather. So I want that one 50mm smaller. So when I get to the 1200, I'm going to want that to be 1150. As long as you do it now, get it ready. It makes the job a lot easier for the angle. Right. The easiest way to do it, and remember, is to mark it on the floor where you're going. Okay, I want 1150 centre there, and 400 there, 400 there, and I want one at the beginning. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm working with 1200 from that 1150, I'm not working it from that wall. So, we go from there again, 400, 800, 1200, and we're going on again. 400, and down against the wall. Right, so we need another one there. And this part over here, I want 2 on there. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 uprights, all at that size. I've done one of them. Now I'll just run another 10 more off, all the same size. Good, that's all 11 for that. Okay, so that's all those uprights. Now we want the cross members. And now as you notice, this one is 50mm higher than a piece of plasterboard, than a piece of stud. As you can see from them plasterboards there. So when I'm doing it, because of that, it's good against the pillory, so there's no great problem. It just means your walls are a little bit higher. So I like to start off by putting a piece down first onto the floor, then make my frame and stand it onto that. That gives me an extra 50mm, and up it goes. And also I've got a good anchor and a good line where I want it to be. Right, here I'm just clarifying where my door is going to be. The door, it's a 30-inch door, in old money, for those that follow that. Which is the exact size there of the laminate, barring a little bit of expansion run. The door case itself, you've got to allow 3 inches thereabouts if it's a standard door case, 1.5 inches each side. So I'm allowing there 3 inches. That's where my stud work wants to come. So there. Then I've got space on my wall to be built. Now with this floor already being laminated, I didn't want to lift it all up because it's quite a laborious job. You've got to start back from the beginning and work your way backwards, which is right over in the other end of the house. I didn't want to do that. So I cut out very carefully where the wall's going to go, allowing for the plasterboard and allowing a 10mm expansion, which will be covered later on with the skirting boards. And if I've got the calculations right, once I've got this wall up, it'll look like the laminated flooring has been done after the wall. If I've got it right. Okay, now we know where we're going to start the stud work. I can lay that one in place, remembering that on this laminate I cut away already enough for the plasterboard and 10 mil spacing. So we've got to give ourselves there that 22 mil as we lay this timber down. And then just nail it into place, like so. Right, and then onto this floor plate I'm going to mark all the points again, just so that everything's clear and we know what we went. Like I said, the first joint is going to be 1150 because of my preferences. 400 is from the wall, 800 is from the wall. Right, and I'm going to start again from that. I can see all my head aching. And I'm going again. 400, 800, 1200, and again 400, and the finisher one. You check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 2 over in that corner, 10, 11. Good. Okay, now the top and bottom, because it's bigger, we'll not do it in one piece. So what I like to do is make the wall so that the top and bottoms hang out from the vertical. So there's an upright, there's an upright, there's an upright. Get it to the end there and there, let's get it in the middle. So I want to chop it there. And then I'll make that one. When I put them together, I'll then put a plate over that joint. Just for extra security and square. But I'm not even set there, so I'll redo that. Right. It's new. It's new. Right, and then once that's done, mark all your points. And get a second one and copy it. That's the top and bottom for that section. Okay, now as we have the uprights stood centre on them lines, you won't see your lines, they'll disappear. So at this point, transfer your lines to reach on the side. Okay, now having this floor plate for me has become quite convenient, because normally it's best if you've got a flat wall or something to set this thing up, because you want somewhere to push against that's going to be straight and true. Okay, making sure you've got enough space to work. Align yourself up against the solid, against the wall or against whatever you've got, and get everything true. Use whatever you've got around you to help you on these sort of things, because it's a big area to try and get in. Right, and then by whatever means you've got, be it hammer and nail, or nail gun, nail it all together. One end first, put plenty of pressure that way, and it's not going to go nowhere. 2 nails in each is usually sufficient. Okay, and that's that section ready to lift up. Now I'll pack it to the top. Now obviously you've got to leave a clearance at the top here so that you've got the pivot in order to get it up. Otherwise it's going to catch against the plasterboard and you'll be gouging that and bashing this thing in. So, clearance you give it, that's optional. You give it 10mm, 15mm, 20mm, whatever you're going to give it, you've got to then cut pieces to fill that gap. So what I do is I like to give it the gap of a piece of studding, and that way it nicely just closes the gap. 50mm, perfectly clear. And then you've always got lots of offcuts to do that with. Then you just nail them to your joists and nail the partition to that. That's pretty tight, that one. Okay, and that's the first piece, solid and accurate. Now I've just got to make that other piece for the end there and do the same again, then I can come over the doorway. And again with the last piece, up the same. Okay, that's that bit now to start working over the doorway. This area here, which I've just got 2 uprights to do, and then the height piece at the top, the head of it. And then we can sound plasterboard on one side, and then get started getting services in where we want them. All I'm doing is just getting the centre here, 84, 42, that's close enough, 42, just so that once it's plasterboard, if I need to find it I can put it inside. Okay, get that off in place, that's the top because it's the biggest. You should sit all the way back. Now as a rule I don't put cross braces on them, well as many people do and I used to do at one point, but I don't anymore because I don't see the point of it. Firstly you've got the web construction when you put the boards on, the panels on, whatever you're going to board over it, that stops any bounce of the timber sideways. So there is no reason to put cross beams for that purpose. Secondly, when you come in to put services in, dropping wires down, bringing pipes up and what have you, if you've got them cross beams in there, that's another obstacle to get now in the future. Now you may disagree with that and want to do it yourself, but you won't see me doing it. Now on these points I'm putting little cross beams in because here I'll be putting the door case onto it and I don't want the bounce. Right, well that's the timber cutting for this stage. Next is to get the door case in and plasterboard it up on this side. Then we'll be doing all the work on the other side, insulating surfaces, etc. Now the door case I picked up a prefab one, it's already easy to assemble. The other comes with a choice of widths, and that's going to be easy to adjust the top. It should be, yeah, this one's easy. And that one. There. You've got two choices in these cases. You see you've got the 30-inch door, your standard 30-inch door, or the newer, more later models of 33-inch, which is for your disabled doors. All internal doors now on new builds, you'll probably know, have to be 33 inches for access for wheelchairs. That's what that's for. We don't need it. And then we just simply nail the top to the legs. And that's it. These bits, the door stops, you don't need these until the very end when you get in the door. So just put them aside. Usually fit quite snug. Couple of nails just to hold in place. Cut them straight. Nail them straight, you don't want to punch into your face side. That's a snug fit. Nice to have them snug fit because you get a clean joint inside there. Just make sure they're flush. Bring the end up. And that's it. Now when you're making it, cutting this top, don't cut it snug. You want a little bit of play blade so that you can smooth level everything. So I'm ready now for plasterboarding. We don't want to fasten this into place first, we want to do the plasterboarding first. I just want to get it assembled, make sure everything's right and correct before I plasterboard in case I need to change anything.